Was good, y'all? It's been a minute since I've been on here. Wanted to drop a video for y'all real quick today. Um, I just been focused on myself, handling my business, being an adult, working on becoming my greatest self. I'm still, as much as I talk about it and tell y'all to do it, I'm still in the process of doing it myself. But today I wanted to address weak ass people who mistake your confidence for arrogance. It's a lot of y'all out there who, because of who you are, and the confidence. One thing people they fail to understand is that it's extremely hard to get to a point where you are extremely confident in yourself. You know what I'm saying? We all go through a phase in life when we are trying to find ourselves, we're unsure of ourselves, we trying to figure out who the fuck we are and who we trying to be, and then it's a lot of people out there that was picked on as kids and shit like that, and it took a while to get to a point of being extremely confident to the point where you don't give a fuck what nobody gotta say. And I was one of them. I'm so confident in myself, can't nobody tell me shit. You just can't. You can try, but it's not gonna work. And it took me a long while to get like that, to get like this. Um, and I'm here to tell you to stop watering yourself down for them. Be as confident as you feel like you need to be. Embrace who the fuck you are. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you've accomplished. Stop watering yourself down for motherfuckers because they feel some type of way about your confidence. Motherfuckers be like, oh, they think they all that. No, you think I'm all that. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm all that. You think that I'm looking down on people. You think whatever you think of me is none of my business. And that's how y'all gotta look at it. You see what I'm saying? But it takes a long time and it takes a lot of work to become confident in yourself to the point where you just don't give a fuck what nobody gotta say. You don't care about how a person feel or any of that shit. Like it takes a long time. And I'm here to tell you as a witness, because I've done it myself. When you get to that point, when you finally get to that point, do not water it down for nobody. Don't water it down for nobody. Because I know people who do that to this day. And I hear about people doing that shit. Like, stop watering yourself down. Because at the end of the day, what it is you, that's why I be telling people, like, you at some point, depending on where you're trying to be and your purpose in life and, what you're trying to do with yourself, you got to get around like-minded individuals. And when it gets to a point where your confidence is mistaken for arrogance, when it gets to a point where people get offended about how you carry yourself and who you are and all that shit, and they act all sensitive, then it's time that you separate yourself from them people. You might always love them and care about them, but you got to love and care about them from a distance now. Do not water yourself down for nobody, especially when you know in your heart that you came a long way and you got to a point where you're confident and can't nobody tell you shit. Ain't nothing wrong with being confident. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you need. I would say in most of things in life that you're trying to do, and not just with who you are trying to be as a person, but the things that you're trying to do in life, you have to have a certain amount of confidence, because that's what's going to help keep pushing you forward to achieving what it is that you're trying to achieve. You got to have that a certain amount of confidence. It took confidence for me to even start making videos. Like, if y'all go back in time when I started making videos, you will see my growth. When you compare how I was then to now, you will see the difference in my videos. I wasn't really confident in doing a video. I knew it was something that I needed to do. I knew it was part of my calling and a part of my purpose, but I wasn't all the way confident like I needed to be. But like I tell y'all all the time, sometimes you just have to put your foot forward. You just got to take the step. You may not always be ready. You may feel like it's not the time, and all this other shit. You might have a lot of self-negative talk and self-doubt, but sometimes you just have to put your foot forward. And I can honestly say that for me, when it comes to me making these videos and shit like that, is because I just kept putting my one foot in front of the other. That's all it was. But I was a nervous wreck. I don't really like talking in front of, you know, groups of people. I feel like I've gotten better over the years and shit like that, but you know, me looking into a camera and knowing that when I post this on social media, the whole fucking world can see it, and you know, because my videos are public. Like my personal shit is private, but my videos are public. So just me knowing that it can be judged or, you know, criticized and all that shit when I first started, now I don't give a fuck because you're going to think how you want to think regardless. But at first I was a nervous wreck because of that. But it's honestly because I continue to put one foot in front of the other. That's what built my confidence in making it. That's what made me get to a point where I didn't give a fuck what anybody felt about my videos. And that's when I understood that, you know, my message isn't for everybody. I'm not for everybody. My way may not be what's best for you. And that's okay. But stop watering yourself down for people if you are at a certain level of confidence, because you got people who will sit there and be like, well, we all in the same boat. And, you know, some of us may be in the same boat, but a lot of times it's levels to this shit out here. We're not. We're not. And I'm sorry, but me, I'm not going to water myself down because I'm at a higher level than you may be at. I just came from there. So why would I water myself down to make you feel comfortable in a situation or the position that you're in? If anything, if you were smart, you would look at the people that's above you and you would ask questions and you would figure out and follow them as much as you can to get to that next level, instead of sitting there bitching and getting offended. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. That's what I did. That's what I do in a lot of things in my life. I look to who's already ahead of me, and I copy them or I ask questions. And I've been fortunate enough that when I do ask questions, because you got some people out here who, when you ask questions, they act like they don't want to share the game with you and shit like that, because they see your greatness. That's what that is. When you ask a person, hey, how do you do this? Or, you know, can you help me get here? Or can you give me some advice? And the motherfucker shut you down. They see your greatness. Understand that. But that's another topic for another day. But I've been fortunate enough that where when I do ask questions, people, they give me the game. And I listen and I mimic. And once you take the game that's given to you and you mimic, over time, you'll start to add your own little twisted things. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be yourself. You don't want to just completely just act like or be somebody else. You want to be you. But once you learn the basics, and once you gain the knowledge and you apply that shit to yourself and you start adding your own little twisted things, you're going to become great regardless. Because you'll realize how great you are just being you. You don't have to be nobody else. And once you start embracing that greatness about you, once you learn that shit, then that confidence will come. And when you gain that confidence, do not water yourself down for nobody else, bruh. Fuck them. It's not your fault that they're not as confident. It's not your fault that they haven't reached a certain level in life that they should have reached. Ain't none of that shit. That has nothing to do with you. Because the truth is that anything that any of us wants to obtain in life, or any level that we want to be on in life, we all have the capability of getting there. We was all given the tools to get there. And like I say all the time, some of us, we got to take different paths to get there. The path I took may not be the path that you have to take, but at the end of the day, shit, we both gonna get there in our own little way. And we both gonna have to go through our own trials and tribulations and climb mountains and jump hurdles to get there. But bottom line is, we both gonna get there. You have a lot of people out here who will mistake your confidence for arrogance. And who gives a fuck? Because at the end of the day, like I tell y'all, all you have is yourself. I pat myself on the back. I congratulate myself when I succeed at something. I go out and buy myself something. I treat myself out. Like, I do all that shit. I don't look towards anyone outside of me to clap for me or do none of that shit. Do I receive those things? Yes. I get messages all the time from people who thank me for being who I am, thank me for my videos and stuff like that, but I don't look towards that. Whether you clap for me or not does not define who I am, and it does not determine how far I'm going to go in life. I'm going to do this regardless because that's what I'm destined to do. Spiritually, that's what I'm told to do. That's my purpose. I'm just obeying it. And it took me a long time, not just with me doing these videos, but just me being a person, just me being who I am in general. It took a long time for me to gain this type of confidence within me. I wasn't always as confident. People done talked about me and put me down, and I feel like we all done experienced that shit. But at some point, I tapped in. And I learned to not pay attention to that shit. And I learned that at the end of the day, no matter what you do, you can do everything right. Somebody always gonna try to find something wrong. And you gotta learn to say, fuck you. Period. So, if you are an extremely confident person, do not water yourself down for nobody. If people think you're being arrogant or whatever the fuck they feel, who cares? Let them feel how they feel. You don't have to explain yourself to nobody or none of that shit, because they don't understand what all it took for you to get to where you are now, for you to gain that confidence, for you to sit there and go from being talked about and people looking down on you and talking about you and not fucking with you and betraying you and leaving you and all this other shit. It takes a whole lot of work to become confident, for you to get to a point where you don't give a fuck, for you to get to a point in life where you got these blinders on and all you focused on is what you got to do for yourself and walking in your purpose. That takes a lot of work. So I'm sorry, but not sorry if you get offended at who I am and how I walk and how I am, like how I move in life. I'm not about to apologize for that shit, and you shouldn't either. If you were smart, you would take notes. So I encourage you that if you are an extremely confident person, continue being confident. Continue being who you are. Continue patting yourself on the back. Continue congratulating yourself for everything that you achieved in life. Continue, being proud of just continuing to move forward with your goals and your dreams and your purpose. Because there's a lot of shit that's thrown our way when you're on those paths. A lot of shit comes your way to try to stop you and try to slow you down. And if you are the type of person who, no matter what, continues to move forward, be proud of that shit. Because it's hard. It ain't easy to do. But when you become disciplined and motivated enough, you make it look easy. It's the discipline in you. It's the fact that you can motivate yourself. That discipline in itself, when you sit there and you tell your story and people be like, they don't believe you for real because you don't look stressed the fuck out and you don't look like you've been through what you've been through, it's the discipline. Don't nobody see what goes on when you're behind closed doors. They don't see the tears that you cry, and they don't see how you be stressed the fuck out and you be worried and you have all this anxiety and shit like that. They don't see that. Because unfortunately, we live in a world, in a society where you have to be strong. You have to. Because people don't give a fuck like that. for the simple fact that they going through their own shit. So when you can come out here in the world and you can still walk with your head held high, and you can act like you're not having, anxiety when you are, and you're not depressed when you are, be proud of that shit. Because that takes a lot. I done been depressed. I done been down and all that shit and had anxiety and sleepless nights to the point where I can't fucking sleep. But I still get up and I move forward anyway. Because that's your option. Those are your options. You either going to sit there and dwell in that shit, or you just going to move forward. But I guarantee you that if you can find the strength to move forward over time, not only are you going to get through what you're going through, but things do get better. But they get better according to the season. I made a video about seasons. It gets better according to the season, because some seasons last longer than the others. Motherfuckers out here trying to figure out quick fixes and shortcuts and shit. A lot of times in life there is none. You just have to go through it to get to it. You have to go through it in order to get to it. And when you go through it, you got to face all the shit that's thrown your way. People turn their back on you. Family ain't there for you. And all this other shit. You have to still be able to move forward to get to it. Because whatever it is that you're going after, whatever it is that you're trying to do, is on the other side. You just got to get to it. And the only way to get to it is to put one foot in front of the other. Period. So stop watering y'all stuff down for these weak ass motherfuckers out here. And yeah, I said it. Because who the fuck are you? You can be just as confident. For those of y'all out here who's sitting there being in y'all feelings and shit about people who's confident, and you can be just as confident. You can succeed in life just as much as the rest of us. But that's all on you. Because at the end of the day, you got a few people out here who fuck off and don't give a fuck about life. But the rest of us, we all after the same fucking goal. Like, we just trying to make it. We just trying to get to somewhere and, get to a point in life where we're, comfortable. And some of us want to be millionaires and shit. Like, I'm going to be one. I'm claiming it. Because I see where I'm going. I will be one. And you can be one too. When we get to the top, we can all sit at the same fucking table, breaking bread together. But you got to put in the work to get to that table. If you're confident, be confident. And I'm proud of you for gaining confidence, because that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. When you out here constantly being judged and looked down upon, and when you think that, you putting out your best and a motherfucker say it's not your best, be confident. And if they feel like you being arrogant, or if they getting offended, then that's on them. They can separate themselves. They ain't got to be around you. They ain't got to watch you. They don't have to clap for you. They don't have to do none of that shit. Let them think how the fuck they think, and you continue being you. I'm proud of you. Fuck them. But I hope y'all have a good day.